Mitoj Singh. On all the behalf of my group members, we'll be having a small discussion or a debate on the topic whether the working from home is boon or bane for the Canadian economic perspective. I and my other team members, including Anjal Bal, Roy, and Pravina, will be having the perspective that working from home is a better opinion for the Canadian economy, whereas my other team members or the other group members will be having the different perspective. So over to you, Abhilasha, now.
Thank you, Amitosh. Hello, everyone. Today, this debate-based discussion is going to be held, and the topic is simply defined by the Amitosh. We are here, Fardina, Priyanka, and me, Avilasha, will be discussing and arguing about employers going office and working from office would be the positively impactful to the Canadian economy rather than working from home. Amitosh, the floor is yours to start the debate.
Okay. So my perspective is that working from home is the best opinion, be it for any country, whether it's a developed country like India or be it a developing country, because individuals like who travel from one place to another, they simply just spend 2 to 3 hours or maximum 4 hours going to and from their offices, and they can utilize this time in a better productive way, and also the revenue of the companies or the things or the governments would be increased by this, because simply by this technique they can spend 10 to 12 hours working for their companies, and by doing the sincere work during this time period, the revenue could be increased by many folds of the company. So now the question is how the revenue of a company is increasing or having a positive impact on the of the country's economy. So like if the revenue of the company is increasing, they have to pay more taxes, as simple as that. Also, if the taxes are being paid higher, and even in the working from home, the expenses of the companies are low. So I would like to tell that all the companies, like they have various expenditure like the utilities and even the salaries of the employees, all these are deductible. They are not included in the tax. The government pays them specifically for these all their expenses. So if the expenses is less and the revenue of the company is high, increasing, and they are on the upper hand. So even the taxes will be directly going to the bank of the government, and they will be having a positive impact with these taxes, and they can utilize in a manner in a very effective way. So the economy is increasing again. My third point would be that all these taxes, and especially if the individuals are not going to the offices, they can have a massive save ons from the crude oil. Like we all know, all the countries, be it Asian or these Western countries, they all import all these oils from these Middle Eastern countries. So they have to pay a high sum to import all this stuff. And if the people are not going much, so the oil is used less. And that's why there the budget could be saved a lot. And this amount could be applied in other methods. And they could be having a positive impact on the economy by saving. Okay, so my point is done. You can tell.
Okay, I would like to add something here, and I completely disagree with you because we're talking about you. I believe you just elaborated the examples and everything that regards with like individual perspective, like how a single employee or individual will get benefited through the work from home part. But basically, I believe let's start with office spaces and everything. So firstly, office spaces, like it's a commercial building. So major urban cities like Toronto and Vancouver, they have like very costly office spaces, and it is in very high demand. And definitely, if there is work from home and people stops going to offices, then it would experience a significant downturn in property values as business downsize. And this is definitely gonna impact the economy part, which will like directly affect the tax part. So another one is like real estate developers, I would say, like companies involved in commercial real estate developments, like investors that those have like those are holding the portfolios that includes office building, would see a decline in income from the rent and decrease in property value as well. And this will certainly slow down the new commercial development projects. Another one is service provider I'd like to talk about, like office. If there is office, there will be office workers like cleaning services, maintenance providers, security personnel, and everyone. Now, this will affect the employment here. And if people started getting unemployed, then it is definitely going to affect the economy of a country, I'd say. And this will reduce the demand of offices and reduce the spaces and also the employment as well. And another one is like retail spaces. I'd say like if people started going to office, they'll explore, they'll go throughout the shopping centers, restaurants and everything, like retail spaces. There will be like foot traffic, and office workers would also experience a decline in sale if there will be like no office and everybody started working from home, and this could lead to closure on the relocation of residential areas as well. So I think work from home would more will be more impactful to the economy of any government, especially we're talking about Canada, and it definitely like affect the economy of Canada if there will be work from home, and it is much better to have work from office, I guess.
Okay, I would like to conquer her. Like she has covered the topic regarding the real estate. So basically, like Abhilasha has said, that the real estate of the offices, like you are asking about the rents. So rents will be the taxes on the rents and all that stuff will be decreased. So basically, I would like, as I said, that all these expenses are deductible. This is not covering in the taxes. All the taxes are on the other stuff which are not deductible. So that's my point. Secondly, if the persons are earning more, individuals will be tend to buy more houses and they could have more savings. If they are not able to save more by going to the offices, they can't have the option to buy another things or another properties. So the property tax on the individuals rather than the rents from the offices will be have a bigger rent value as compared to other. And thirdly, like she said, that other stuff like shopping malls and all these stuff or hotels are not being included. That's totally wrong, because if the individuals has more time, they could spend more with their families and friends. They have to go to these places. If the people is just spending 8 hours in working and they are spending 3 to 4 hours in commute, where they have good time. So that's my point. Working from home is much better option as compared to going to offices.
Okay,
Over to you.
I'd like to add few more points, then my fellow mates can join. Okay, let's talk. You said like I think work from home, it will be like people are working from home and they're not traveling. So
Yes.
working to office, like work from office will definitely like it helps in relocation, like from urban centers. People will relocate, and shifting is like an economic activity, right? And they will get the rent, have to rent the house, and they have to travel and everything. And this will definitely increase the property value and boost the local service. And this will definitely work on the economical part of the government. That's it.
I have many other things to say, but over to others as well. We'll have more discussion afterwards.
Okay.
Ravina, your mic is mute.
Oh, yes, sorry. I'm going to talk about the cost saving for employers. When companies reduce their need for office space, utilities, and maintenance, they have a huge amount of money. These savings can be reinvested into growing the business, offering better salaries, or improving employee benefits. Why should companies spend on expensive offices when employee can just as effective? For example, when a company save money by not needing a big office, it can spend that money on things like new products or expanding into new market. This help the business grow and create more jobs, which is good for economy.
Okay, so hello everyone. This is Ferdina, and I'm here to refute my fellow debate mate here. So, I will be talking about the significant impacts on urban economies, local businesses, and public transportation system due to the rise of work from home culture in the economy of Canada. So, due to the work from home culture, we should consider that many local businesses and crafts and cafes and shops and other services, especially public transportation, that I will talk about it later. But first, I'm focusing on the local businesses that are mainly affected by the work from home culture, because many urban businesses actually rely on office workers, such as restaurants, coffee shops, and retail stores that have decreased traffic due to the work from home culture, with fewer people commuting or shopping with the local boutiques and local stores, and coming to offices or spending on transportations, meals, and retail. It is actually putting a negative impact on the economy, on the overall economy of Canadians and the economy of Canada, as the entrepreneurs are having a low traffic at their stores, which leads actually to goods and lower goods and services tax that usually the government gets. And due to getting low tax revenues, it actually hampers the public. How? It will actually because the government actually rely on the fundings that public gets so that they can spend it on public again. So it's like a whole circle that's working with the economy of Canadians. So that's how it is going to impact the if the work from home culture is actually increasing. And also the food services and the local businesses, for example, many food services stores are dependent on the office workers and the service providers, because they're during the lunch hours, during the and especially the coffee shops during mornings and evenings, the traffic is huge because of the office workers. And if they are working from home, they are facing a major downfall in their business. For example, Toronto had a 25% of drop in their food service business during the COVID and the pandemic time, when people were working from home. That they had a 25% of downfall in their economy as a food service industry, which is a very big percentage, and is actually it impacts the economy of Canada. And lastly, as the service industry, there is one more very important service industry that I have to talk about, is the beauty industry. Because many beauty sectors are, for example, salons and other sectors like that, are quietly dependent on office workers, because employee tend to visit salons after their offices, or during the end of the weekdays, for example Thursdays or Fridays. And they have a huge traffic of office workers because they like to go for relaxation after a tiring office sessions. And because of this reason, because of the lack of office workers coming to offices, they have another downfall in the salon industry. So which overall is creating a huge downfall in the economy of Canada. So that's how I believe that it is a negative point that I can argue about. That's all from my part, and I would like my other debate mate to continue.
Angel?
Yeah, hello. Hello. My name is
Yes.
Anjan,
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
I'm gonna speak about the topic like hiring scenarios in offices. They can hire diverse skill sets, like people from all around the world can work during remote works. Like if one person's in India and other person's in Canada, the company can hire both of them, and even though they're in different time zones, still they can work since their work is remote. And also people can tap onto different skill sets, like if some people are many skill sets which the company needs, so he can work in that company. The officer can hire him, since he's going to work in remote, so he doesn't have to relocate, so he can save that money. And then coming to the scenarios where people can have a good lifestyle, like presence of mind. People when are at their comfort zone, when they are working at home, people are their most comfort zone. So people will be relaxed and they would enjoy work. But when coming to office, some relocating from their hometown, coming to a new geographical area, it's going to be difficult for them. Even though they would be getting a good amount of money, but still they wouldn't be happy. So it's better for people like them to work in remote. So over to you, Priyanka.
Yeah, certainly hospitality and tourism industry help people to enjoy their leisure time, like restaurants, airlines, and travel agencies and places where people like to go. By shifting from work to work from home can impact this industry. There will be a decrease in airlines because business travelers often fly for work, and reduction in business trips could lead to fewer flights and lower the revenue for airlines. And connected to them, the travel agencies will also show a decline because these agencies plan to travel for those businesses with other parties, and the parties with few business trips, they might see a decline in their clients. For the businesses, they often book hotels for employees for traveling for their work. And if more people work from home and they will travel less, hotel might see a drop in bookings for business trips. And many companies hold meetings and conferences and their business events in a lot of venues. If these events work in a home, and these the venue and catering services will be decreased, and they might see a less number of bookings. Businesses and
Okay.
travelers
Uh,
Tra- sorry.
No, you can continue.
Okay. Businesses, travelers frequently dine out with their employees and new members of their business, like in events, and the conferences and meetings are held in the hotels and restaurant. And the restaurants might lose their significant portion of the clients and the reduced conference and event attendance. Yeah, it's
okay,
done.
I like to add some points to that. Like when a people are there home and working, they will be very much happy, and they will be having enough money also with them, their savings and all, since they don't have to relocate and they don't have to spend money on new towns and everything. So they can plan their trips and enjoy more of their life. And also about the business trip, not every day people are gonna work in the home. So sometimes there are meetings and really important meetings. People can go along with their business partners or wherever they want. And also they can travel together. If there's gonna be a trip, they can also plan and travel together and all.
If Priyanka, do you want to say something? So, or I can continue if you want.
No.
Okay, so I think Anjabal, the point my fellow debate mate was saying was she's mainly targeting the domestic flight industry of Canada. So there are many times the industries like companies in Canada, they have office meetings or conferences held in other domestic cities. For example, people coming from Vancouver to Toronto or Montreal or many other. So mainly we are focusing about the domestic flight industry of Canada. We are not talking about people going to other countries for recreational purpose, but many big offices have domestic flights. If everyone starts to work from home, so the domestic flight industry will have a downfall because of this reason. Along with that, people living in hotels and taking other services while traveling to a different city for work for a short purpose, maybe 2 to 3 days or something like that. The overall industry is actually hampering because of this. So we are focusing on the domestic flight industry here. Yeah, I'm done.
Also, I just want to add few things in here. Like working from home will make people happy, or they can work happily. I just want to counter that point because it also blurs the boundaries between work and personal life. Like many employees struggle to switch off when their home is like also in their office, leading to burnout. Like it is especially true if employees maintain their high expectation for productivity, leading to longer working hours. So I guess there has to be collaboration, which will be very challenging if there will be work from home, and there will be no spontaneous conversation and brainstorming sessions, and that will definitely reduce the productivity of work. So I think in order to have good work and also to have like good economy, work from office is much better. That's it. Thank you.
Agree
Okay.
with
Okay.
Asha.
Roy, any part?
Okay, so I'll be talking about how working from home benefits the environment and the private sectors as well as the government. So to begin my argument is that when people are working from their homes, they don't need to commute more. So it reduces the pressures on the public transportation. So they don't need to spend a huge amount on its maintenance and so on. So it reduces the pressure on the government for a whole lot of investments on those kinds of things. And furthermore, like when people are working from their home, government also does not need to take care of this. They don't need to spend much money on infrastructures like roads, uh, over highways and everything. So it will be so it creates a less pressure for the government. And furthermore, I also have to say that the cities like Toronto, Vancouver, and this Montreal contributes to the 25 percentage of carbon emission in Canada. And when while people are working at their home, this can be reduced to a large extent. And the economic benefits, I would say, is that while people, which brings to Canadian government is that it reduces the population, and also thus by increasing the reducing the healthcare cost by by decreasing the respiratory illness and health issues related to poor air quality. Government and business may also benefit from lower climate related cost and mitigate emission, uh, reduces the severity of climate change and impact such as extreme weather events and rising sea levels. And I also wanted to talk about the private sectors. By people who are working from home, while many people are working in remote ways, there is no need for large office spaces. By when people are working from home, it reduces the cost of heating or climatic controls for for that buildings, because you can imagine the weather in Canada. So when people are working in when they are going in offices in winter, the heating cost whole lot of cost for the private sector as well. So while people working from their home, it reduces the cost for the private sectors. So this is what I have to add in my argument.
Okay, I have few questions with Fandina.
Well,
So my point was, you said that there will be eating places, eating stores. They have a downfall during the COVID time or during the working from home. Okay, so during that time it was all lockdown, and also all there was all the spread of virus. So that's why people were not going. Furthermore, the instructions were too hard by the government for the operating of these stuff. Second, my opinion is that if the people don't have time, like if they're spending 10 hours or 12 hours just to go and to come back, where they get the time, and how will they spend time with people, and will they go to their stuff? Secondly,
okay.
you said that, oh, no, I'm not finished. I will be giving you time. Secondly, you said that domestic flights are not proper. Like there is downfall on domestic flights. So my opinion is that people, if they are work from home, they will be having more domestic flights, and the people will be going from areas to areas, and they will be meeting their family. They will be going to various places and having, because the main reason is they don't have to take leaves from their offices. They can work even on their holidays as well. So eventually they can do both things side by side. Okay, so there won't be a much downfall in those domestic flights. And third part, Sano, that was very random point, to be honest, because I don't believe that any person being all suited up and they're going to offices and have spent it 10 hours in office, they go to a salon for having a haircut. So those were the points. Now coming to the Abhilasha's point, she said that there should be brainstorm. There won't be brainstorming thing. There is Zoom meeting. We are all doing Zoom meeting like this only. Okay,
you
so there won't be much
Yeah.
effect on those points.
Okay, so we will take the questions, I think, at the last of the debate. I'm sorry, but you asked, I guess, 4 questions. It's hard for me to remember, but Roy was speaking, and after that, I think Abhilasha and we are supposed to give our counter
That's
argument.
part of debate. That's the part of
Yeah,
debate.
sure.
You can carry on your.
We will, after we are done, so then we can, I guess,
Sure,
continue with the questions.
sure.
So Asha, I think Roy was covering the. Roy, could you just in one sentence, could you explain your gist, because I forgot. Just
I mean, I was telling about the environmental benefits,
right,
like how it benefits the environment while
right.
people working from their home, how it
Right.
benefits the environment as a whole and the government as well as the private sectors.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much, Roy. So I think Abhilasha, you go first, and then we will talk about it.
Okay, the first thing is I want to inform you all about time limitation as well. Okay, we have, I guess, 5 more minutes,
Yes.
Okay.
and then we have to get done about this. Okay, I just want to add few things regarding the energy part. Like he elaborated about environment and everything, but I here want to add, like, office buildings are especially large, complex, and they majorly they are the consumers of high electricity and other utilities. So definitely government have said uh, the places like those, like they supply more electricity and utilities to office areas, and through that their economy works, like they will pay them more and taxes and everything. So this is the boon to economy, I guess. Another
Like
one is,
Ablasha,
okay.
like as you said right now, there will be
Hmm.
offices, right? Even though it's in
Hmm.
a small scale, even though it won't be large, there are still going to be offices for every company.
Hmm.
Most of the companies, there's going to be offices. So there's going to be electricity and there's going to be workers to clean and all, to maintain the office and all. So there won't be any shortage for workers also in local areas.
No, like if there will be
Just
no office.
let her complete first, Angel. Let her complete.
Okay, I'm here because if we are working from home, then there will be no offices, right? Because if we are working from home, the scenario is like we're completely working from home. Then why people will spend to build like rent office and everything? Like as you said, they will save the money and they'll be like staff are working from home, and then it's okay. So I guess there will be, they are the office buildings and everything, but if there will be work from home, then they will not bother to rent office and everything. They'll work from home, and that will certainly like fluctuates the energy part and everything, because government have said those stuffs like that. And also like residential area, if people started doing everything from home, then office energy uses would decline and residential demands would likely increase as more people work from home using their computers, ACs, lighting, heating, and everything. So they could strain infrastructure in residential areas are equipped to handle higher daytime demands. So this will like it, and I think this will fluctuate and this will not work as this is working right now properly. So yeah. And another part is carbon, that I mean like emission of carbon and everything. I think everybody is shifting to EV right now. Like everything is upon the sustainable energy uses patterns and green energy transition. So that would not bother that much, I guess. That's from my
Okay.
side, and there's 3 more minutes. Please, we
Okay.
need to keep it that subtle. Okay.
So the last argument was about the transportation and how nicely Roy explained about his argument. So on to counter that, I would like to add that with fewer people actually coming to work, public transit systems in Canada have actually seen has seen a significant decline in the ridership during COVID, as people were working from home. So the public transportation systems actually rely on the fare revenues. So if they are facing shortfalls, if they are getting less money from the consumers, this actually leads to service cuts, or they actually need government subsidies or stuff like that, because they actually get the fund. The government get the fund from the public and they spend it on the maintenance, because all the public transportations, for example the bullet trains and other services like that, are extremely high maintenance. And if they are not getting finances from public, it's going to be extremely hard for the government to maintain the electricity that goes behind the maintenance of every public transportation. That's very important point. And also moreover, public transit agencies have suffered a lot of losses during COVID and during the 2020 and 2021 phase. For example, TransLink in Vancouver faced a 400 million deficit in that time, which has required the government to pay for subsidies, and which led to fare increases and service cuts. So ultimately, it's coming down to the public back. If they are not using the transport and they are not contributing to the economy, it actually is coming back to the public by themselves, knowingly or unknowingly. That's all I could say, and that's all about our part. And in summary, I would just like to say that the work from home culture has led to it's a good economic activity for individual purpose, but it has great challenges for the whole economic scenario for the government of Canada. And that's why we would like to stick to our part that government needs to get the revenues that they want, and they are going to use it on the public, and it's going to come as a benefit, come back to the public by themselves. That's all from our group as a whole. And if you want to conclude, then please go ahead.
Yeah, what I want to say is that working from home has opened a new range of work type. Like people can always rely on their home. They can sit in front of their laptop and work whenever they want. And that's the advantage also, because they will be free in their mind. They'll be relaxed at their home. They can enjoy their hometown without the worry of traveling or the travel expenses or anything. And many companies has already proved that working from home can provide good revenue, because many companies like gain much higher revenues during the COVID time, when people were working completely from home. No one were coming to office due to the pandemic. So many companies have already proved that working from home is a good choice also. So people can always switch to working from home whenever they want, if they like it, because revenue can be generated and it's already been proved. That's what I want to say.
Do we have more time?
No.
We
Rest
are
of the
running out
discussion
of
will be
time.
carried on class, guys.
Yeah.
We have to end this up.
Okay.
We
Pravina
should
also
just
has a
check
class. So
with
just we sum up, then we should sum up that we should have a 3 days work from home and 2 days coming to the office. Okay. Thank you very much.
That's
Okay,
lovely.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Okay.
everyone. Let's
That was
conclude
lovely.
Thank you,
here. We
everyone.
had a great time. Thank you so much for your efforts.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.